Thank you. Right. Welcome to you all to the NASS annual dinner. All of the members asked for us to be in the middle of Birmingham, and I don't think we can be any nearer to the middle of Birmingham. So hopefully everybody's happy with the choice of venue. It is lovely, and I think they've done us proud. So welcome to you all. Thank you for fighting your way through the storm that has affected the UK. I know we've fallen foul with a couple of people who couldn't make it, but thank you all for coming. A couple of things. As we always do, we always have a charity. So on your table you will find an envelope. If every table could have a senior person who deals with it, pass it round. If you could put your place card in there if you donate, and there is a prize draw at the end for donate. Thank you very much. And I'll be asking somebody from Crohn's and Colitis to come up in a minute and give you a chat. There is also a silent auction. So today we have a silent auction with some amazing prizes to be won, which you'll all have seen in the reception area. A number of host experiences from around the world. So we are also raising money for Crohn's and Colitis UK. All is explained on the front of your silent auction brochure, which everybody should have had on their chair, so please take time to read it. Simply write your bid next to the items you want to win, fill out your details on the front of the brochure, and hand it to our helpers. Please note you only have one opportunity to bid, so make sure you bid high. Our helpers will be on hand to answer any questions you have, and good luck with your bids. So, before we start to eat, I would like to start with grace, please. So if we could all be a bit silent, thank you. So, for what we are about to receive, may the Lord make us truly thankful. Amen. Amen. Thank you. So, without any further ado, the young lady from Crohn's, I'd like to invite you up to, unfortunately, unless you hold it in front of you, thank you very much. Cheers. Yeah, thank you. Do you want me to quiet them down a bit for you, or are you all right? Do you want me to? Hello? Can we read? Just, thank you.
Oh, I need to put your mic.
Sure.
Hi everyone. I wasn't expecting to have a microphone, so it feels a bit strange. But I'm Natasha, and I'm from Crohn's and Colitis UK, and I'm here to talk to you all a little bit about the charity and what Crohn's and Colitis are. But I just want to start off by saying a big thank you to NASS for inviting us along today. We are so grateful for your support. So, first of all, we're going to play a little game of true or false. So I do need some audience participation, but it's nothing major. All you have to do is put your hand up. So first one, we're going to go with IBD stands for irritable bowel disorder. So who thinks this is true? Hands up. And let's go false. Oh, okay, that was a bit close. So next slide, please. That is actually false. So it stands for inflammatory bowel disease. So not to be confused with IBS, which is irritable bowel syndrome. They are very similar, but if you examine the gut with a camera, if you have IBD, you'll see that it's all inflamed and it does have damage to the gut. But with IBS, there's no damage or inflammation. Okay, next up. IBD has the same symptoms as IBS, so just remember what I just said. Okay, who's going to go true? And who's going to go false? Okay, so that's correct. false. So, just going to check my notes to make sure I'm saying it all right. So some symptoms are similar. So that could be urgency, going to the toilet frequently. However, IBS isn't a lifelong chronic condition, whereas IBD is, and there is no known cure. And because of all the damage to the gut, it can mean that you have to go on quite intense medication. And that could mean steroids, that could mean immunosuppressants, or it could mean biologics. Okay, next up. Over 500,000 people are living with Crohn's or colitis. True or false? Let's go true. And let's go false. So that one is true. There's over 540,000 people in the UK with Crohn's or colitis, and that equates to 1 in 123 people. Next slide. So based on, say, there's 250 attendees here, that means there's possibly 2 attendees here could have Crohn's or colitis. 26% of people with the conditions have been waiting over a year to get diagnosed. 41% will have needed to have visited A&E before being diagnosed. And I just want to stop on this point and say that we spoke to a lady who kept on going to A&E with symptoms and presenting with symptoms over and over and over. And the doctor there actually said to her, is everything okay at home? Because they were worried about her mental health because she kept on coming up with these symptoms. Eventually, she got a diagnosis of IBD, and she actually did have to go back to A&E again, and that GP apologised to her. So just to highlight how tricky it can be to get diagnosed, because it can be confused with IBS. So 33% people of IBD have needed time off in the last week due to them being in a flare and not being able to work. And 1 in 5 people contact us over managing symptoms and their mental well-being. And I know that I've said that there's just 2 attendees here, but that doesn't account for friends and family. And so if your organisation has 1,000 staff members, that could be 8 people living with these lifelong chronic conditions. So I just want to share a little bit more about what Crohn's and colitis are. So there are 2 main forms of inflammatory bowel disease. There's also microscopic colitis as well that can only be seen with a microscope, and then there's indeterminate Crohn's and colitis too. They're lifelong, like I've mentioned, and life-changing conditions which can flare at any time, and they do have very strong medicines that can work for one person but not work for another person, or they could work for you for 10 years and all of a sudden they stop working. So it is a very personal condition. Some of you may know the main symptoms being diarrhea, blood loss, urgency to go to the toilet. However, as you can see from this image, there are plenty of other symptoms that go along with it, and it is an invisible condition. So someone, for example, could be dealing with all of these symptoms and you may not know. So we've got here some other symptoms, including fatigue, anxiety, depression. We've got inflamed eyes and mouth ulcers, hair loss, joint pain, skin problems, weaker bones, and anemia. And just to note here, Carrie Grant, who some of you might know from Pop Idol, she actually went to her dentist and she had loads of ulcers, and her dentist noticed and then asked her about some other symptoms. He put 2 and 2 together. She went and got diagnosed, and she was diagnosed with IBD. So it's really important that we educate healthcare professionals so that they can get there nice and early, get people diagnosed, stop them going to A&E. But it's not just GPs, it's dentists, like I've just mentioned, and also pharmacists as well, spotting the signs and getting people to go and get checked. As I mentioned, symptoms can change from day to day, but with the right medication, people can live lives well. Okay, next slide, please. So these are my lovely colleagues. 5 of these people here are living with IBD. But you would say in these pictures they all look pretty happy, I would say. They look quite content, enjoying their life, particularly Tom in the middle there, the kids. If you just look through for me, please. They're actually living with some of these symptoms. This was just to highlight the fact that they are invisible conditions. You can look at someone and think they're well, but actually they're dealing with IBD. Okay, so I just wanted to talk next about who we are. So we are Crohn's and Colitis UK, and we are the leading charity for Crohn's and Colitis in the UK. We support everyone affected by the conditions, so that's not just people directly affected, that is also friends and family, colleagues as well. We essentially want to improve lives for people living with IBD. And we do that through multiple ways. So we have a fantastic helpline, which is open Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. And that's there to support anyone affected by the conditions and to point them in the right direction as to where they can get relevant information from. We produce patient information as well. And that patient information is often used as a first point of call for people who have just been diagnosed. Also, say if your medication changes, you can go onto our website and find that information as well. We do a lot of campaigning work. We do a lot of influencing policymakers. We have a fantastic membership scheme as well. So you can get a can't wait card and you can get radar keys that you can go and use a disabled toilet if you can't access it easily. So we do lots and lots of things, but I just wanted to highlight how much it costs to do some of those things. So it actually costs £36 to fund a life-changing inquiry to our helpline. So say if you guys raise a fantastic £5,000 tonight, that could potentially fund 138 calls, and it could potentially fund 3,125 patient information booklets for people who are recently diagnosed. Next slide, please. So next up is a video that I wanted to share of Femi, who is quite an emotional one, but he goes into more detail about the impact the condition had on his life.
It must have been when I was 13 or 14 was kind of when symptoms started affecting my life. The pain I used to get felt like someone was tying my innards in a knot. It just felt wrong. It felt like I shouldn't be eating. I wasn't growing. The unspoken thing that everyone's going through is like puberty, and specifically for guys, they're getting bigger, they're shooting up. I remember kind of looking at my body in the mirror and kind of thinking like, why am I so tiny? Like, I don't look well. I feel like most I did what any 14-year-old guy did and pretended it wasn't happening. I would go through the pain and then hide myself away and live a second life for my Xbox, really. It's something that affected every part of my life, and I'd often just zone out in class because I was so hungry I couldn't concentrate. I was a teenage boy. We don't really do like a vulnerability or emotions, and it was hard to talk about what was going on. The pain got worse, and the diarrhea was worse, and the vomiting was worse, and I was basically like hemorrhaging weight at this point. I was just getting thinner and thinner. I got very alone and quite scared because I was, very ill, and no one around me seemed to understand what was going on. And the doctors they used to say, Femi, how I'm fine. And my mum would turn to me and I'd see her eyebrow twitching. She'd be like, you're anything but fine. And it's one of those things where if my mum wasn't there with me and she was such an advocate, where would we be? From the cultural background I'm from a Nigerian family, and they've kind of, sometimes toughness is something you have to wear because of the way people might treat you outside, as a black person as well. And I think that all of that just meant that I was never honest. I remember it so vividly. I remember kind of going in for this appointment and her kind of sitting us down, and then she kind of looked me dead in the eye. She's like, we think you have Crohn's disease. And from there, I was like, wow, my life is over. This is what my life is going to be. I'm going to be glued to the toilet. My whole future was kind of stained with the color of this illness. I must have cried all the way home from hospital. My mum kind of said to me, I can appreciate this hurts and this is scary, but this is actually a blessing because now we know what we're dealing with, we can start to fight back. Beforehand, the question was just what's wrong with me, but now the question was, what can I do to lessen this? And at least in that kind of speck of information came some hope I don't think I had before. I'm gonna be real, I look good and I'm doing well in my life, and that's because I've worked very hard and I'm very happy, and I'm proud of myself that I got here.
To share the video because it's really important for you to see the impact that it does have on people's lives. I can talk about it, but it's better coming firsthand from someone. So next I wanted to actually talk about another area of work that we do. So we have this program called Are You In? And this program is to help support workplaces, better support people with physical conditions like Crohn's or colitis. Next slide, please. So I just wanted to share some of these stats that we've got here. Sorry to everyone that I've got my back to. 44% of people with Crohn's and colitis said that their condition has stopped them from reaching their full potential at work. More than 2 in 5 people with Crohn's and colitis had to make an adjustment in their working lives, for example, working from home or flexible hours because of their condition. And more than 4 in 5 people agree that employees need more support to help them improve their practices for disabled people. Next slide, please. So the aim of Are You In is to educate. So we want to educate everyone within the workplace so that you can better support your colleagues and understand that they might look okay, but actually they could be going through something. And we do that by, we have kind of like talking toolkits that can help educate. We do talks like this within your workplace. There's lots that we can work together to do to help educate everyone in the organisation. We also want to empower people to get talking so that they feel comfortable, that they can go up to their manager and say, I'm not feeling great today. I think I maybe need to have a rest day today, or these hours aren't working for me. Can we be a bit more flexible with hours and having an open discussion? And again, we have conversation guides which can help with this. So if you've got the condition, this conversation guide helps that discussion with your manager, and the same for the managers. We've got conversation guides for them as well. And it's all about just getting people talking, also getting people aware so that maybe if they have had some symptoms, they go away and see a GP and get a diagnosis and they're not suffering, because we know that not everyone wants to talk about poo, so getting people talking about more gets people to the GPs. And then finally, we want to enable. So what we want to do is get those Not Every Disability is Visible signs up on toilets so that people feel they can go to the toilet without being questioned. And that's pretty much all from me, but I just wanted to say a huge thank you for coming along tonight and supporting our charity. I know you've got the donation envelopes out. We've also got a stand out there, so we've got more information and donation points there as well. But if you are interested in doing anything else like this, then please just do come and speak to me. I'll be more than happy to have a chat with you. I have got my business cards out there as well, so if you can't find me, just go and grab a business card and get in touch. More than happy to just have a little coffee and have a discussion. But thank you so much for your time, really appreciate it, and I hope you enjoy your evening.
As with everything with NASS, it is a family, and one of the reasons why we choose all of the charities that we've chosen over the last 3 years has been that it has affected people who are involved with NASS directly. So please dig deep and enjoy your dinner. So I'll leave you to it. I'll leave you to your starter.